Holy down by the canyon, you see that?
Oh, what is that?
Wait, oh my God.
The world is filled with creepy locations where visitors report chilling encounters, fleeting apparitions, disembodied voices, cold spots, and unexplained shadows. From ancient cemeteries echoing with tormented souls to historic homes plagued by tragic pasts, these locations draw ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike. Here are 9 haunted places renowned for credible sightings of ghosts. Dare to explore if you believe. Green Ridge Cemetery gained unexpected fame during a routine morning news live shot in October 2021. Reporter Sam Hesler from WNYT News Channel 13 was broadcasting from the historic grounds, promoting spooky twilight tours in the dim pre-dawn light. Gravestones loomed behind her as she spoke. A sharp-eyed viewer contacted the station afterward, urging them to check the left side of the screen. Upon review, something eerie appears. A shadowy humanoid figure seems to dart or run across the frame in the background. Too fast and fluid for a living person, especially in the empty cemetery at that hour. No one else was reported on site, and the movement doesn't match any known wildlife or staff.
As you can see behind me here, we have a few gravestones, but what you can't see because it's dark out, and as you can see behind me here, we
The clip went viral, with viewers debating if it was a genuine apparition or a mist/reflection. Comments flooded in with humor and chills. One joked the ghost was running to tell his mates about the news crew sighting, while others shared personal ghost stories from cemeteries. Skeptics called it lens flare or a statue, but the timing during a haunted tour promo adds intrigue. Green Ridge's reputation for unrest stems from its age and Civil War-era burials. If a ghost can photobomb a live TV segment unnoticed, it suggests spirits linger in quiet places, watching the living intrude on their eternal rest. Would you visit at twilight? In a remote stretch near Ranipul in Gangtok, a 2018 video captured what many claim is a ghostly woman in a pink dress, walking along a dark road at night. Uploaded by John Wick, the clip shows a figure in traditional attire moving unnaturally, some say gliding, before vanishing or reacting to the camera. And it happens more than once, as the figure appears again later in the travel. The uploader presents it as a terrifying encounter, but comments lean heavily skeptical or comedic. A few insist it looks real, with one viewer claiming a similar sighting days earlier. The lack of description leaves it open to interpretation, perhaps a prank, a lost person, or something supernatural drawn to lonely roads. Gangtok's misty Himalayan foothills have long whispered of spirits, especially women in white or pink, tied to tragic folklore. Roads like this are notorious for lady in red/white apparitions worldwide. If this is genuine, it shows how ghosts might appear in everyday isolated spots, staring back at drivers who dare take shortcuts after dark. The debate rages, hoax or haunting. Either way, it leaves you glancing in your rearview mirror on empty nights. Gettysburg, site of the bloodiest Civil War battle, remains one of America's most haunted places. In a 2013 video from Reflections of America, investigators film in a rumored high-activity area near the cemetery and troop traces. A ranger had warned of unexplained sightings. As they quietly record, excitement erupts.
Said there's activity here before, but all right, so we're gonna sit here for a while and just kind of film the camera.
A lot of troops left from here.
See what happens.
They capture an unexplained shadowy form, or mist, moving near the cannons, fleeting but clear enough to stun the crew. They insist they wouldn't believe it without the footage.
Holy crap. Down by the canyon, you see that?
Oh, what is that?
Wait, shh. Oh my God.
Gettysburg's hauntings are legendary. Phantom soldiers marching, cries echoing, apparitions in period uniforms. Thousands of dead left residual energy, with EVPs, orbs, and full-body sightings reported yearly.
Is it?
No way. What is that?
I have no friggin' idea.
Did you get that on the camera?
It's recording.
This clip adds to the evidence. Raw, unedited panic from witnesses who saw something impossible. Skeptics might say shadows or fog, but the real-time reaction feels authentic. If battlefields trap spirits in eternal replay, Gettysburg proves the dead can still walk among the living. Visitors often leave changed, some swearing they felt watched. Dare you stand where thousands fell and listen for echoes? A midnight vlog turned terrifying in 2018 when the UK07 rider took a shortcut to a wedding around 10 p.m. Expecting a quick ride, he encountered something paranormal that left him scared to death. The footage shows a dark figure with glowing eyes, claimed by some to be standing in the road. The rider screams, reacts in panic, and flees home. He insists it wasn't human, bringing the real shit out of me. Comments explode with humor. Others debate. Glowing eyes suggest a demon, or perhaps thieves/scare prank. A few share similar night ride horrors. Isolated roads worldwide host phantom hitchhikers, or wandering spirits. This clip captures raw fear. No editing tricks are obvious. If a simple shortcut summons the unknown, it warns against traveling alone after dark. The rider vows never to go on that route again. Would you risk it?
Well, this is the time of year everyone loves a good ghost story, and we have one for you.
Watch as Mike Shue asks you to make up your own mind. Is what you are about to see a ghost?
During a haunted tour of Baltimore's Fells Point, a couple snapped a photo of Bertha's Mussel's third floor and captured what looks like a little girl's ghost in the window, hands outstretched. The 2019 WJZ News report details the sealed-off upper area. No one present, yet the figure appears. The staff reports remain consistent of a presence, alongside feelings of being watched, and friend Bob seeing ghosts upstairs alone.
My friend Bob saw ghosts constantly when he worked by himself upstairs.
Legends tell of a girl skipping in rooms, aligning perfectly with the image. Owners embrace the hauntings. The photo went viral as proof. Skeptics call it smoke/light tricks, but the coincidence with stories is uncanny. Fells Point's maritime history breeds ghosts, sailors, and tragedies. Bertha adds a tragic child spirit. If a casual tour photo catches the dead staring out, it can only mean one thing. These places hold on to pain. However, tourists still visit. Would you want to visit? Hampton Court Palace, once home to Henry VIII, earned global headlines in 2003 with chilling CCTV footage dubbed Skeletor. Over 3 winter days, security repeatedly closed a fire door near Clock Court, only to find it flying open with force, no cause visible. On day 1, doors burst wide. Day 2, same thing. Then a tall, ghostly figure in period dress, long robes, skeletal appearance, suddenly appears, calmly closes both doors, even correcting the order, and vanishes. Day 3, doors open again. No figure. A visitor that day wrote in the guest book about seeing a ghost there. The clip exploded in media worldwide, from India to Australia, nicknamed for its eerie, skull-like look. Staff and historians debated, prankster in costume? Draft? But the sudden manifestation and purposeful actions defy easy explanation. Hampton Court has rich ghostly lore. Henry's Wives, Jane Seymour in the Haunted Gallery, and Catherine Howard's Screams. The Skeletor doorkeeper adds a new layer, a spirit still tending duties centuries later. If CCTV captures a ghost performing mundane tasks, what else lingers in historic halls? The palace invites tours. Would you walk those corridors after dark? During a thrilling Argentine Primera Division match between Racing Club and River Plate at the Estadio Presidente Perón, also known as El Cilindro, in Avellaneda, an eerie moment captured widespread attention. In the 68th minute, or around the 21st to 23rd minute of the second half, depending on reports, broadcast cameras recorded a mysterious, translucent silhouette sprinting along the touchline near the stadium's band area. The figure appeared to emerge from the crowd, move swiftly pitchside, and seemingly pass through advertising boards and people without obstruction, creating a ghostly, ethereal effect. The blurry, grayish shape resembled a person in motion, sparking immediate speculation and excitement among viewers. Racing fans quickly identified it as the spirit of Natalio Perinetti, a legendary forward for the club, known as La Academia.
Me parece que uno de los dos se viene. Hay alguien que no está bien en Racing, ojo, Se viene el tiro libre. Atención. Le pegará Ferreira, lo dejarán.
Perinetti, who played from 1917 to around 1933, helped Racing win multiple championships. Accounts vary between 5 and 12 titles during his era, and is remembered as one of the club's early icons.
Bow, y va Milito, y atención con Gastón Díaz. Viene un Ribarri, justo apareció. Venía presionando a Videla. ¿Cómo acompaña la jugada Videla?
He passed away in 1985. Supporters claimed the apparition was a supernatural sign of support, especially poignant as Racing won the match 1-0, boosting their title hopes in the 2014 Torneo de Transición. The footage went viral, featured on platforms like YouTube, FIFA-related pages, and sports media, with some dismissing it as an optical illusion, camera artifact, or fraud, while others embraced the paranormal lore. It added a layer of mystique to the historic stadium, already famous for its passionate atmosphere. This ghostly sighting remains a beloved anecdote in Argentine football folklore, blending superstition, club pride, and the unpredictable magic of the beautiful game. Hot most haunted places on Earth. Real paranormal activity. Scary red-eyed ghosts. Don't knock twice. One of the most chilling moments in paranormal footage appears in this clip. It begins with what is likely an old building or industrial structure left to decay, with crumbling walls, debris-strewn floors, and dim, dusty light filtering through broken windows. The scene begins innocently enough. The camera slowly pans across the eerie, empty interior, capturing the atmosphere of neglect and isolation. Viewers see only stillness, shadows, rubble, and silence for an extended period, building tension through the mundane horror of abandonment. Then, without warning, a sudden movement occurs in a doorway on the left side of the frame. A humanoid figure with long, flowing hair briefly enters the shot. It appears pale or shadowy, moving with unnatural quickness as it steps partially into view before vanishing just as abruptly. The silhouette suggests feminine features due to the hair length, though details remain blurry and indistinct, typical of low-light, possibly low-resolution footage that fuels debate. The figure doesn't linger. It darts in for a split second and disappears, leaving no trace or follow-up motion. This brief apparition has sparked discussions in ghost hunting communities. Believers see it as genuine evidence of a restless spirit tied to the forsaken location, perhaps a former resident or victim of tragedy. Skeptics counter that it could be a camera glitch, dust particle, insect close to the lens, or even a subtle edit/hoax. Salem, infamous for the 1692 witch trials, remains steeped in supernatural lore. In 2017, Mayor Kim Driscoll tweeted a lamppost photo outside the courthouse, showing an eerie ghost face in the light fixture. Fox News covered it. Pareidolia for some, bulb/reflection, but others see a clear spectral visage staring out. Salem's history, executions, and hysteria fuel claims of restless spirits. Streets, homes, and sites report apparitions, orbs, and touches. This mundane photo adds modern proof. Even lampposts hold faces from the past. If witch trial energy lingers, manifesting in everyday objects, Salem reminds us that history's horrors don't fade. Visitors flock for tours after this. I will be looking at streetlights more carefully after this one. Late at night, a warehouse is supposed to be the quietest place in the world. Just rows of wood planks, empty aisles, and the steady hum of the lights outside. But in this footage, something else is there. At first, it looks like nothing more than a darker patch near the front of the camera. You almost think it's just a trick of the camera, but then it moves. Slow, steady, and way too solid to be a glitch. The shadow drifts across towards the wood planks as if it's exploring. It doesn't interact with anything, and it doesn't change shape. It just glides along the wood as if it's checking each plank one by one, and then it just stops. The strangest part? Nothing in the warehouse is casting it. There's no person, no flashlight, and no equipment passing by. And let's say it is being cast by something, but the way it is moving feels like it has a mind of its own. The way it just stands there near the stack of lumber feels like it is watching something that we cannot see. Then, just as quietly as it appeared, it fades back into the darkness, leaving the yard empty again. No doors opened, no alarms went off, no animals ran through, just a silent, drifting figure caught on a camera. In this clip, the setting alone already feels quite eerie. A silent room in what looks like an Indian household, dimly lit, with a stillness that only comes late at night. A woman is asleep on a sofa, her son resting on the floor beside her. The room is simple and lived in, but one thing stands out immediately. A framed photograph on the chair. It shows a man, and there are flowers in front of the frame, a common way of honoring someone who has recently passed away. That detail changes the entire atmosphere. Beside the boy's head is a small computer desk, cluttered the way any workspace is. On top of it sits a file, a thin stack of papers, maybe, neatly placed, unmoving. For a while, nothing happens. The mother sleeps. The man barely stirs. The room is calm, almost too calm. Then the file shifts. At first it's subtle, like something brushed against it gently. No fan is on, no open windows. The air seems completely still. The movement is small, but deliberate, just enough to make you lean closer. Seconds later, it slides again, this time farther. And then, without any hesitation, the entire file tips forward and falls straight off the desk, landing dangerously close to the man's head. The mother wakes up from the commotion. The man doesn't react and calmly puts it back. when you remember the framed photo, the flowers, the sense of someone recently lost, the possibility that something unseen might still be present in that room becomes a lot harder to ignore. Imagine someone staring at you from a tomb. Well, in this clip, we are taken to a lonely tomb with a crack running right across the front, wide enough that you can see inside, but not enough to make out whatever's in there. Someone filming zooms in on the dark opening, expecting maybe rubble, maybe roots, maybe nothing at all. But something is there. Behind the broken stone, a shape sits perfectly still. Two dark points, almost like eyes, seem to be staring straight out through the crack. The longer you look, the more it feels like it's watching you rather than the other way around. It doesn't blink, it doesn't shift, it just sits there in that narrow strip of darkness, silent and unmoving. People online argue that it's probably an animal. Maybe a raccoon tucked away inside. Maybe a stray cat is trying to stay warm. But animals usually react to noise, to movement, and to light hitting their hiding spot. This doesn't. It stays locked in place the entire time, almost as if it's waiting. The atmosphere doesn't help either. Old stone, overgrown grass, and a sense of eeriness that feels too heavy to be natural. The tomb looks untouched for years, like no one has dared disturb it, and whatever is behind that crack doesn't behave like anything living is supposed to. Whether it's a trick of shadows or something existing where it shouldn't, the footage leaves you with that uncomfortable feeling that you've just made eye contact with something strange. As the shadows lengthen and the echoes fade, these 9 incidents remind us that some stories refuse to die. Whether you believe in ghosts or chalk it up to imagination, the chills are real, and the unexplained lingers. Visit if you dare, but tread lightly. You never know who or what might be watching. Sweet dreams, or perhaps not. Until next time, stay curious, stay spooky.